Hi, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, my name is Omoje So Alfred, and this is Katalambano with the boss of all bosses. And today we are looking at the advantage and disadvantage of a good follower. Is there anything like advantage? Is there anything like disadvantage when you are actually following your leader with sincerity, when you are actually doing your job, you're committed to your job, sincerity to your boss, you're just committed to him? Is there anything like advantage or disadvantage? And of course, to discuss that topic with our ladies and gentlemen, of course, is our one and only Apostle Tony right here with us on set. Apostle, first of all, let me start by saying good morning, sir.
Thank you, Mojesu. Good morning.
Okay. Apostle, we are looking at advantage and disadvantage of a good follower. Now, we're not looking at the bad follower, we're looking at the good follower. But first of all, who is a good follower, sir?
Thank you, Mojesu. In the word followership is a directional move in which the leader wants the team to go.
All right.
So a good follower is one that obeys and takes instruction from the leader,
Okay.
even when it's at his own risk. That's a good follower in a nutshell.
All right.
I know when we look at follower and leadership, we are looking for the consent of God and man.
Okay.
Because that's where leadership starts from.
Mm.
And that's where disobedience starts from.
Okay.
So when we talk about a good leader, a good follower, we talk about a follower who follows the leader to the end,
Okay.
not halfway
All right.
to the end.
Mm. Okay, so is there anything like advantage or disadvantage of a good follower? But let's start with the disadvantage first of all before we go to advantage. What is the disadvantage of you being a good follower? Because we've seen a lot of persons saying that it doesn't help. Okay, mainly in our generation right now, people will say loyalty doesn't help. Okay, you have to be loyal. Who loyalty help and stuff like that. Okay, now they make it seems like those days they used to say the patient dog eat the fattest bone. Right now they will say the patient dog will not even see any bone, not to talk about the biggest bone or the fattest bone. Is there anything like being disadvantaged if you're following with sincerity of heart?
When you talk about disadvantage, we are looking at disadvantage from the preliminary aspect or from the physical aspect, because for every businessman, for you to succeed, there are do's and don'ts.
All right.
There are cons which are not favorable to you, but you need to endure and persevere in order for you to overcome.
Okay.
It's when you overcome, you'll be able to make success from your labor. So also a good follower, for you to answer that name good follower, there are things you have to endure for you to get to that point. And that is not a disadvantage, so to say.
Okay.
Yeah, but we look at it as a disadvantage. One of it is a good follower does not have his own opinion. He must follow. So, okay, let me put it this way. A good follower does not do not resist an opinion or an idea from the leader. Even if he does not want to accept it, he has to accept it because he's a follower. Two, a good follower also cannot express himself or herself outside the opinion of the leader. So those are the primary two disadvantages of a follower. Because as a follower, you must be ready to be led as against the leadership you are giving to others who are under you.
Okay.
So those seems like the disadvantages. So in this area, now the follower must have some certain qualities in order to convert this disadvantage to be a positive one, like ego management. It keeps his ego aside. So that's why I call it ego management. You need to manage your ego. Your leader will just come and say something, even if you don't like it. You have no choice. You have to follow it. Okay. So you have to keep your ego aside. There must be humility. There must be loyalty. There must be tactfulness of the follower. There must be teamwork. And on his own, he should be able to be like the leader in which he's following. I use that as a paradox. Because every good follower sees themselves as equal to the leader they are following. Because they represent the leader.
Okay.
So, for a follower to achieve this, as I said, must keep a lot of things aside.
Okay.
And what makes it that way is because society over time has seen that the ability or the success of every team, of every organization is based on the leader. If something happened good, they'll say, oh, it's the leader.
Okay.
For instance, like the President Tinubu would said, oh, he's the one doing Nigeria this. But nobody has taken time to give success letters or success kudos to the followers.
Okay.
So that's why I say in past times, society has seen that every success is attributed to the leader. But future should be able to recognize that a good follower should also be accredited and attributed to essential success to everyone. Okay. So when we're able to see this, that both the leader and the follower, because the follower was not there to carry out instructions and activities, the leader will not be able to achieve that. So until the future begins to give credence to also a good follower, then nobody will say that what do you gain to be a follower?
Okay. Okay, looking at that, let me take you a little bit to the Bible, okay? A story of a follower. Now, what I wanted to find out is it really a good follower or a bad one, and what was his own repercussion? We're talking about Gehazi in the Bible, all right? That when Naaman was being healed, okay, by the prophet, and he wanted to give him a gift, and the prophet said, no, we don't need, I don't need it, you can go with it. The Bible recorded as Gehazi was angry. Can you please take us a little bit through that story, sir?
Yes, when you ask if Gehazi was a good follower or a bad follower.
Yeah, because at that point, he got angry. Okay, yes. Is it right to be angry? All right, because after that time, the Bible never mentioned anything about him again.
Yeah, because it was the leprosy of Naaman was transferred to him.
Right.
So normally, biblically, or by the Jewish custom, or by Judaism, the leprosy person is supposed to be outside the tent of Israel.
Okay.
Outside the vineyard, outside the tent. So it's an unclean person that nobody will sell or interact with, like the 4 leprous men that walk into Samaria. That's why they were at the boundary. So it's too nice to go and live at the boundary.
Yeah.
That's why nobody talks about him.
Okay.
Now, but why you ask me if Gehazi was a bad follower or a good follower, I used to tell people I leave judgment for God, because there's one lawgiver and there's one judge.
Yeah.
But now, see, like what happened in Gehazi's sense. If other that Gehazi has been a good follower to Elisha.
Okay.
He has been.
Okay.
He has been. But you might be a good follower. We can also learn something from you. You might be a good follower from the beginning. That's why I said from following from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
Not haphazardly.
Okay.
Now, Gehazi has been a good follower, but check. Something came in and he lost out.
Okay.
He lost it there. Now, why did he lose it? He saw wealth. He saw finance. He saw money. So a good follower is one that does not look at worldly materials. Materialistic thing, but because there must be, if you talk about the lawyers, the doctors, the military, there's an oath of secrecy, or there's an oath of allegiance. Now, a follower has an oath of allegiance to be with the leader, no matter the circumstances.
Okay.
Whether there's money, whether there's hunger or this. So Gehazi got it wrong, because that's why I talk about ego management. You must manage your ego. So his ego saw, if I collect this, my master does not want to collect it, I'll be rich. I'll be better off. So that was what Gehazi was not able to control. And when the master said, no, let the man go, he ran before the man. And he didn't collect all. He didn't collect all. Gehazi didn't collect all. He only selected some and mentioned, the man now gave extra. That's what happened in the story of Gehazi. So it's ego management. It's the truth. Remember that it's by ego. Esau missed the blessing we'll have gotten from the father Isaac. The kid, the mother used in preparing the meal for the father on behalf of Jacob was caught by him. So there was a kid in the house. He knows, because he's the hunter. Jacob wasn't the hunter. Jacob stays with the mom. So he's the hunter. He knows. But because of ego, let me go and get a bigger one. And as he left, the mother said, Jacob, don't worry, there is a small kid. Can you see? That's why begin with the small you are seeing. The salary, whatever they are giving, even if the pastor is not giving you anything, you are not working for the pastor, you are working for the Almighty God.
Yeah.
The same, if God can bless the pastor, God can also bless you.
Let's see.
Remember that is how God blesses. He told Abraham, come out of your people, and I'm in blessing, I will bless you.
Wow.
So that's why I said, let the society change the mentality in the future, also to attribute success also to a good follower.
Okay.
So that a good follower will be able to manage his ego and know that, yes, if the leader succeeds, I succeed with him.
Right.
As his name is being mentioned, my name also will be mentioned. Then I think that will also help. And I also say one of the qualities of a good follower also, there must be teamwork, there must be loyalty, there must be humility, there must be tactfulness. He must have his own common sense. Understand? Because there are things the leader will tell you that is harsh. You use your common sense to organize it so that other people don't get upset. Understand? Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is where we actually going to draw up the curtain. But before we do that, according to our custom and tradition right here with us, right here on set, I always tell people, life, of course, Apostle was the one that actually say that time is actually the greatest friend we have, and it all depends on how you choose to use your time. That's how the time will definitely going to work for you. Okay, but before we call it a wrap, we want our apostle to give us a little summary, and of course give us how we can detail on how we can worship alongside with him, or rather also tell us how we can worship alongside with him online. All right, because we know some of you are actually viewing us out of the state, and you want to be part of the of his service on Sundays, and also on Wednesdays, and also on Tuesdays. Okay, and maybe you're looking for a way to hook up with him, or he's going to be telling us on that, right, guys?
Thank you, Mojesu. As I said, the qualities or the advantage of a good follower, which I've earlier mentioned, but I said one of the most important things is that there must be trust between the leader and the follower.
Right.
And to bring in trust between the leader and the follower must be able to exhibit confidence so much in the leader and in his actions and in his words. Once this trust is being established, then leadership, followership is a good one, is a successful story. And for you to be a good follower, at all times, you must represent the leader in what he wants you to do. By so doing, your ego should be kept aside. There will be humility, there will be loyalty, there will be teamwork, and all the rest. And I said that it's not you. Nobody gets results for bad followership. It's only for good followership. And I said, in the future, society should also be able to recognize good followers. So that when the leader's name are mentioned, the followers' name are also mentioned. Like, if you talk about Jesus Christ, you also talk about the forerunners. Understand? It's always there. The forerunners did this. Then Mary, Magdalene, Mary, the mother of Jesus, did this. You understand? So these followers' names are being mentioned. That is what the future is supposed to uphold. Christ has shown it, that followers' name are to be mentioned. A good follower. So followers' name also should be taken into consideration. We are a Touch from God Ministries, located at number 7 National Street in the heart of Elimbu, Port Harcourt. These of services are Tuesdays, fasting and prayers, 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and our counseling starts from 12 noon to 4 p.m. And our Fridays are evening with the Lord, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. With an exception of second and last Friday of every month, we start a night with God, a tarry night, an extraordinary night, a night of signs and wonders, healings and miracles. You can come and go back the same. And our Sunday services are gracious services. First service 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and the second 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And you can follow us on our handles, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, on Touch TV. The Lord bless you as you do so. Thank you.
All right, the Lord bless you as you do so. Thank you, Apostle. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is what we call it a wrap for today. Next week, we are going to be looking at a very, very sensitive topic, okay? And what is the topic? Is it a crime for a Christian to go to club, okay? Is it a sin for a Christian to go to club? Of course, we're going to be tweeting some stuff there. We're also going to be talking about smoking. Is it a sin for a Christian to smoke? Remember, according to the Bible, when the Bible talked about sin, it says sin is the transgression of the law. So where there is no law, there is no sin, okay? And in the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, there is nowhere the Bible mentioned cigar, like cigar, like smoking. And if it's not being mentioned in the Bible, then why do we say is a sin. So Apostle is going to be looking at, going to be telling us more about that topic next week. Is it a crime for a Christian to go to club, and not just going to club, but also drinking and also smoking? But that is going to be our topic for next week. But I want to say, Apostle, thank you for coming over. We do appreciate your presence. And like I always say, we're not going to take it for granted. Ladies and gentlemen, time is the greatest friend we have on the face of planet Earth, because of our time actually fly. But whatever we do to the time, whatever we do with the time, whether give us blessing or curse, something I tell people, never you turn your blessing to curse. So we're not willing to turn our time to curse. At this point in time, we'll say, see you, same station, same platform next week. And of course, same time. And don't forget to tell people that next tomorrow is service, and you need to make sure you go to church. I will always say, tell somebody to tell the next person tomorrow that service is on Sunday. Feel free to also worship alongside with the pastor or with apostle, and of course you can also join them online. My name is Omojesu Alfred, also known as the boss of all bosses. See you next week. Bye for now.